Okay, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'm going to call the regular closed council meeting to order and recess it until after the special open council and the special closed general purposes committee meeting. So with that, I will call the special council meeting to order. This is on the business license suspension recommendation for Tokyo Beauty. So the way, just for anybody listening, the way it goes is that we hear from staff and then the business owner or any representative of the owner, we will hear from them. And then we will have debate and consideration. So, yes. Go ahead.
Through your worship, and I have nothing further to add, and I'm open to questions.
In anticipation of what we are going to hear, we received a letter, I think, which said that basically that the problem had been recognized by the operator and rectified, and it was very small. Can you comment on that?
To your worship, the problem on the latest example of Health Canada's investigation is there were a total of 9 products that were found to be in violation of Health Canada's rules and regulations. Those products can carry significant health consequences. It's notable that this is the 3rd violation that's occurred. There were previous occasions in 2019, in 2021, and now most recently in 2023. And what's also notable is on following the 2019 investigation, products were recommended to be removed. Those same products were found again in the 2021 investigation. And finally, when products were recommended to be removed in the 2021 investigation, those products were resold again in 2023. So there's a pattern of non-compliance with Health Canada's rules and regulations.
All right, so your recommendation, and we've got some distance to go before we get to it, but is that there be a business license suspension of 30 days. And that would be effective immediately?
To your worship, that's correct.
Okay. I'm not seeing any questions, so we'll excuse you, stay close. There's chances are there'll be more questions. So now we will call on the operator of Nagoya Trading Limited, or the owner or the operator. Is that you, ma'am? Please come forward. And have a seat, introduce yourself, and have a seat. Introduce yourself and tell us what's on your mind.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Charlene from Tokyo Beauty, Coordination Manager.
Please speak up. Get close to that microphone.
Yeah,
And secondly, I understand sorry, my microphone's not on. I understand that your name is Charlene Zhu, Z-H-U.
Yes.
Okay, please go ahead and tell us about it.
Today I represent Mr. Frank to read his letter regarding our business and the recent inspections. Can I read his letters for everyone?
I think we do all have a copy of that letter.
Already?
For your reference. It's up to you.
So, dear Richmond City officials, we would like to express our gratitude to the city government for providing us with the opportunity to improve our services for the citizens of Richmond. We would like to address some important points regarding our business and the recent inspections. Our company was registered in Richmond on June 15, 2016. with shareholders from Japan 51% and Canada 49%. Approximately 98% of our products are made in Japan. And we currently offer 7,155 different products to the citizens of Richmond. Our products are all shipped directly to Canada from the Japanese parent company and are imported through formal customs declaration. In July of this year, Health Canada inspected our store in Richmond. Out of the 7,155 products we sell, only 5 were found to be non-compliant. These products were promptly removed from our shelves per Health Canada's instructions. In the past 7 years, we have only had 3 failures, all with different products, and we have corrected them in time. It is worth noting that between May and July 2023, Health Canada conducted inspections on well-known supermarkets like T&T. The results revealed numerous non-compliant products in these establishments. A search on the Health Canada website for T&T yields 269,486 related to results. We have rectified the errors in the 5 non-compliant products, which account for a tiny proportion of our overall inventory. Our error rate is significantly lower compared to our peers. We kindly request that our business license not be suspended, as we have already corrected our mistakes and obtained the support and the consent of Health Canada. Suspending our license would severely impact our employees and their families. This year, we have been actively giving back to society by lowering retail prices to the lowest in Canada, providing affordable daily necessities to our customers. We have attracted customers not only from Richmond, but also from neighboring cities, such as West Vancouver, North Vancouver, Vancouver, and Burnaby. We have a solid commitment to the community demonstrated through various initiatives, such as A, providing free Japanese rice and green tea to single mothers. B, making donations to communities and associations. And C, offering free Japanese green tea to enrolled students. We also contribute over 200 hours of volunteer service to the community annually. In light of the above, we humbly request that the city government allow us to continue serving the community, as we have already rectified the mistakes made in few months ago. Thank you very much for your consideration. Sincerely, Frank Zhu, Tokyo Beauty, November 10th, 2023. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you very much. There are no questions, so we'll excuse you now. Oh, we have one question.
Actually, I have two questions. For your point number six, you mentioned that your employees will be affected if the license is suspended. So how many employees are you talking about?
How many employees?
Yeah, what's the number of your employees?
About 15 around.
Okay. My second question is regarding to the number of products being removed. Now, in the staff report, staff said that there were 9 products. And in your letter, you said there were only 5. So which is correct, 5 or 9?
Oh, I think that is the same categories, but the different packages.
Okay, good. I have no further questions.
Sorry?
No further questions.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. We'll excuse you now. I'm sorry? Okay, if we could have staff come back. We have a question from Councilor Wolf.
Thanks. Through your worship, just a couple questions to clarify here. One is that you mentioned that there were some products from the previous time Health Canada found stuff that they've showed up again and again, yet in their letter they're saying they corrected it in time. So is it the exact same product? Did they just package it or under a different name, or is it the exact same product?
Through your worship to Councillor Wolf, I may turn your attention to CNCL 8. You'll find the product Santin Sante Beauty Eye Contact. And this is in regards to the March 31st, 2021 investigation and seizure. And then if I can ask you kindly to turn to CNCL 5, you'll see the same product being sold. And this is a result of the most recent September 18th investigation.
Great, thanks. A follow-up on that exact question, or that exact item, Santan. I noted in that My Health Canada search that product has been sold in other stores in Canada, other company stores, and they also got flagged and probably had to be removed. My follow-up to that then is, if any company sells a product that was just caught in this raid or bust, does it automatically trigger us to suspend our local store? So if something gets caught in a T&T store in Ontario, do we in Richmond consider suspending that same company if they operate here?
Through your worship to Councillor Wolf, in this particular instance, it was this location. I understand Tokyo Beauty has 3 other locations. This specific location had repeat violations, hence why this one was the subject of violations and actions. The T&T store that's cited in the correspondence from the subject of the investigation was in North York, Ontario. That's beyond council's jurisdiction, and we'd have no ability to prosecute that.
Okay, great, thanks. And my next and final question through your worship, what other levels of suspension could be considered here?
Through your worship to Councillor Wolf, there could be an increase or a decrease in the number of days to the suspension, and there could be also a cancellation of the business license as well.
Okay, I'll hear other discussion first, but if not, I'd like to make an amendment.
Councillor Al.
Yeah, I just want to follow up on Councillor Wu's question. So have you had suspended business license on similar occasions? I mean, similar situations. So were there any precedents?
Through your worship to Councillor Al, I'm not aware of a suspension for a particular selling of a health product like this. There have been suspensions and cancellations of licenses most recently for not adhering to the COVID-19 health regulations. And just a point of clarification too as well, there was an issue regarding the number of total products that were sold in the most recent seizure at September 23rd. if you go to page CNCL 5, you'll note the products are listed there, totaling 9. There are 5 active ingredients that were all prescribed there. That might be where the confusion is, but those 5 active ingredients are found in 9 separate products.
Okay. My second question is, now, staff recommended suspension of 30 days. So again, based on what reference that you recommend that? Why not a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and
Through your worship to Councillor Al, this is past practice. Staff have taken to measure a limited approach of 30 days, but each case is separate. Each case has to be assessed differently. In this case, staff weighed the risk to the public.
my final question is, again, so what are the other options? Is this the only option, or can we impose a fine or some other kinds of penalty?
Through your worship to Councillor Al, there would be options where enforcement action could be taken under the Business License Act. There could be an increase or decrease to the number of days for the suspension. There could also be a revocation or a cancellation of the license as well.
But can there be fines?
Through your worship to Councillor Au, in this particular instance, I believe this violation is not finable under the Notice of Bylaw Violation Adjudication or under the Municipal Ticket Information, but there could be grounds for a long-form prosecution under the Offences Act. For more elaboration on that question, I would defer to my colleagues from law.
All right?
Okay.
Councillor Day.
Thank you very much, Mayor Brody. So I'm curious how we found out about this. Was there complaints from the public?
Through your worship to Councillor Day, this particular case came to the attention of staff through a media story and coverage. Health Canada does not notify the city when these investigations occur. They do, however, list them on their website, so all of these sources are publicly accessible.
So this is the third time. I mean, March 2021, February 2019, this is the third time. It seems that, I don't think that a fine is going to do it. I think if we're going to get their attention, that the steps that you've suggested seem very fair. And I'm actually wondering why we wouldn't close them down for longer.
All right, well, that's up to us. Councillor Hobbs.
Thanks, and thank you, through the chair. Thanks for the report. I have read it, but just for people who may be listening, could you just very quickly comment on some of the effects of what's been sold, some of the ingredients that you're talking about, and maybe give us a bit of a parameter? As I said, it's in the report, but mild effects to the ultimate effects that could result from some of the things that have been sold.
Through your worship to Councillor Hobbs, certainly, caveat emptor, I am not a health specialist. However, the sources can be readily available, found on Health Canada. We'll note one of the products that's cited in the report, dihydrocodeine phosphate, is a codeine, and you can look at the codeine element in there. It's a morphine derivative. So these are substances which, unfortunately, given the health crisis, are in demand these days. So some of those issues could be related to substance abuse and dependencies. Regarding the contraindications that can happen with these medications, one can only gather, especially if you're mixing them with other medications and you're not aware of that. But certainly for a more detailed approach, that I would feel more comfortable if a healthcare specialist were able to answer that question.
Okay, well, let me sum it up this way. It's very serious. Health products can have very serious impacts on people's health. And since I'm not a medical professional either, maybe I won't comment, but it's a very serious matter. So thank you for the report.
All right. Councillor Heed.
Yeah, just a matter of order. I'm not sure if I should make my questions now because there's no motion on the floor, or after the motion's on the floor, because I do have some concerns.
About the substance of the matter or about process? If you've got questions about the substance, subject matter, now's the time to ask staff.
Let me just talk a little bit about this. Certainly, I'm no medical professional, like none of us are, but I can tell you, you don't need a medical professional to know that we've got a problem with opioids here in our society right now. And when we have someone that does not adhere to the 3 warnings that they're given previously, the suspensions they're given previously, they continue to sell the products that contain opioids when we have such a crisis right now. I can't see why we're even going to allow them to continue to operate. And certainly, from my perspective, and I know Councillor Wolf is going to make a motion. I'm not sure what that motion is going to be, but my motion is going to be for a more significant penalty than 30 days suspension.
All right, Councillor Liu.
Thank you, Worship. Thank you for this. So just to clarify, we don't have a standard process of discovery to check. So there could be dozens of other people or one other business, any number of other businesses, but because the media didn't choose to go after any of them, they went after this one, that's how it came to our attention. Is that correct?
Through your worship to Councillor Liu, there are a number of different possibilities that staff can use to uncover businesses that may not be running afoul. Open source is one of the techniques. Closed source information from police through sources can come to staff's attention. In this particular case, because of the repeat nature of the violations, it came to staff's attention that way. And my understanding is Health Canada does not automatically notify the law enforcement agencies of jurisdiction in all cases.
Okay. When we saw this, we verified it on the Health Canada, obviously. Did we cross-reference to see if anybody else was on the list as well in our area?
Through your worship to Councillor Liu, staff did not cross-reference to see if any of these violations occurred in terms of these substances.
Okay. What about any other Health Canada violations in the area?
Through your worship to Councillor Liu, staff have not conducted any other investigations for those violations based on Health Canada's warnings. I would also note that Health Canada is the lead agency in these investigations.
Okay, but so they don't necessarily come to us. What's their process for shutting somebody down if they're finding repeated products?
Through your worship to Councillor Liu, I would have to provide that back to you in form of a memo. I'm not aware of Health Canada's standard operating procedures, and much of those investigations still remain closed and it's not accessible to me. What I was able to get was the open source information, and staff did have limited conversations with Health Canada investigators.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll ask someone to make a motion. Okay, Councillor Hobbs? So, okay, so that's moved, is it seconded? Second. Okay, so it's moved and seconded, staff's recommendation of 30 days. Councillor Wolf, you probably want to amend that.
Yes, Your Worship, I'd like to offer a amendment to the 30 days, because as I interpret 30 days is they're closed for 30 days, and on the 31st day, they open up again and sell what's in the store. If I'm wrong, jump in.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Then the amendment I would like to make is that it be closed indefinitely until they or Health Canada comes back to us saying it's clear of any product that is not allowed to be sold in Richmond in Canada. And
Okay, I want to go for a legal advice on that. Is that within our purview?
My advice would be that that would be beyond the scope of a permitted condition of suspension. It could leave the business without a means of satisfying the condition because it's up to Health Canada to decide. I think it would be more defensible to have a condition that would not involve any actions undertaken by Health Canada.
All right, so given that, did you want to substitute a different date?
No, if we don't have the staff and the expertise to be able to verify, it has to go, and we just heard it's the lead agency, Health
Okay.
Canada, so it's in their court to fix.
All right, Councillor Heed.
Yes, having experience with this and the rice wine crisis that we went through in the 90s in Vancouver, and working with Health Canada on what we can do and what we can't do, and the fact that we had to use the business license process to make sure it was a deterrent to these stores that were selling rice wine, I found it had to be significant in order for them to stop their activity. Three times this process has taken place with them, and Health Canada, who have a lot of respect for and the way that their processes are and their enforcement is, is the lead on this. If there's any other store, if we want to send a deterrent to other stores that are doing it, we need to send a message right now that opioids and these other products that are illegal products that lead to some of a crisis in our community, we send the message now. And I would like to see them at least 90 days and then carrying on with some type of monitoring process, whether we have the ability within our bylaws in the city or utilizing the other agencies such as Health Canada to assist us on that. So
you seeking to amend 30 days to 90 days?
correct.
Okay, is there a seconder for that motion? So that's seconded to 90 days. So we're on the amendment. If you want to speak to the amendment, put your hand up, because this is for the main motion. Okay, Councillor McNulty on the amendment.
Yeah, I'm going to support the amendment. I agree with the discussion taking place, and it would be different if this was the first time. Okay, this is now the third time. So 30 days for the first time, 30 days for the second time, 30 days for the third time, we're at 90. And I would support that. I don't think the message has got across. That's what bothers me. And I would hope that staff would be able to tell the applicant that this isn't tolerated in the city and the same products get back on the shelf tomorrow. What are we doing, you know? So, and I think in supporting the amendment, it does, especially with the idea of codeine and mixing of codeine with other things, what little bit we all know about it, it can be fatal. And so,
who else wants
to?
to? I've got Councillor Galanders and Councillor Hobbs. This is on the amendment to 90 days. So Councillor Galanders.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm definitely going to support the amendment. I don't think 30 days is long enough. And I actually think 90 days is better than suspending indefinitely, because if we just can't, if that was even an option to cancel it indefinitely, they would just start up a new business under a different name. Whereas this actually keeps the accountability of the name. After 90 days, we can inspect and hopefully that would send a message that this is not tolerated. Regarding the letter, I don't think that offering cheap products that are illegal is doing any service to the citizens of Richmond. I think that Canada has standards for a reason, and people need to know that if they're going to a store in Canada, that they're buying a product that is safe. And so it's a very serious matter.
All right. Okay, Councillor Hobbs and Councillor Howe, this is on the amendment. Councillor Hobbs?
Yeah, thank you, and through the chair. I'll support the amendment. The question I have, though, on 30 or 90, if it's appropriate, is for staff to explain what is the follow-up process, kind of along the lines of what Councillor Wolf was talking about. What is the compliance follow-up process, or is that not an appropriate question for now? It applies to both time periods.
Does someone want to, well, that's actually not on the amendment.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Councillor Howe.
Well, I think the amendment is too harsh. Yes, there have been 3 occasions, but if you look at the intervals, right, it's not really one after the other immediately. And I don't know, yes, staff said that some of the products are very serious, so with serious side effects. But I think if they're serious enough, I think probably Health Canada would have taken some action other than taking them away, right? So that's why I think if we consider 90 days, it also has an impact on the employees. So 15 people and their families will be involved. So I won't be in favor of the amendment.
Councillor Day, on the amendment.
Yeah, I will support the amendment because I don't think, if one of my loved ones got sick because of the crap that's in these products, I'd be furious. I'd probably be suing them. I think 90 days is more than fair, gives them an opportunity to clean up their act, and hopefully the word will spread without the business community. And other companies will take note of this and realize that they are going to have to pull some of their products off their shelves. So I don't agree with Councillor Au. I think that we have to look at the greater good of the community. And in my mind, that's our job as councillors. And with three strikes and you're out, as far as I'm concerned, I think Counselor McNulty hit the nail on the head, 30 plus 30 is 90, so probably should have got suspended the first 2 times.
Okay, on the amendment, I'm not going to support it, not because I don't think it's serious, because I do think it's serious, but I think that it's unfair to go from 0 to 90. And I think that there should have been far more process, far more warning than we've had here. So to go to 90 is just overdoing it, in my estimation. So, Councillor Liu, and then I'm going to call the question on the amendment. Go ahead.
Thank you, Worship. I'm personally a little bit torn on this. If you look through the list of, people getting their products pulled off the shelves, there's a bunch at TNT, there's a bunch at different places, they're branded to this specific stores. There's actually a local company that didn't have proper packaging on, their products were pulled and had to get all repackaged. And I think that that's actually a company that tries really hard to do stuff well. So I think having been caught 3 times is disappointing. I think we haven't gone after people, but because it's come through the media, we don't actually have a specific way of going and making sure we're getting everybody that's doing this, that it just opens the door for the media to sort of find their pet favorite group that they don't want to be in business or that they want to abuse, and then we're policing it after the fact instead of having a proper process to make sure it's applied fairly to everyone. So I think I would agree with 90 because they've done it 3 times, but I would agree with 30 because I don't think there's a fair process to make sure that maybe there's other people that have been hit 3 times and we don't know, just because the media didn't say that. So I think that's a bit onerous. So saying 30 to start, and I think that sends a loud and clear message and gets the ball rolling. And then we can maybe look at what else we do or how else we look at this for everybody else.
Okay, so I'm going to call the question on the amendment, which is taking it from 30 days to 90 days. All those in favor? Those opposed? That's carried with Councillor Au, Councillor Liu, and the mayor opposed. So the number is now 90 days. I'm going to call the question on the main motion. All those in favor? Those opposed? So it's carried with Councillor Liu opposed, or Councillor Au opposed, sorry. Okay. So may I have a motion to, Councillor Day?
Finished.
It's finished.
It's finished, good. I think that we should write a letter to Health Canada, because whoever the host city is where these infractions happen should be alerted, because we don't have enough bylaw officers to go after, every single thing on the Health Canada website. So I think we should request that we simply be notified when a business in our city has an infraction and products were pulled off the shelf.
Okay, is that seconded? Okay, I think we can just go straight to the question on that. All those in favor? Any opposed? That is carried. Someone move adjournment. We're now adjourned. Okay, with that, I'm going to call the closed general purposes